Uh, okay, great. So those who had like attended the last day's session, can you just raise your hands, please? That was held on the 18th of October. Can you just raise your hands, please? Okay, quite a few. Okay, okay, fine. Uh, Great. So, fine, fine. You can lower your hands now. Uh, so what had we done in the last session was, so the first 1 hour we had actually like discussed about the core like topic. That is what basically exactly the prompt. Where do we actually apply it? How far have we come in this like LLM actually this like scenario, this like era? Why the prompt engineering is so much like important for us, and how it is an completely and basically an efficient way to engineer the human and the model interaction. How actually providing the vague input actually leads to the vague like responses. We had like learned about bias mitigation. We had also covered the hallucinations. We had like learned about risks and the misuses, basically ethics in this basically this like generative AI. Then we had learned about the art of like prompting, how we can have basically different outputs using the same goal just by like changing the styles. We had like learned about the multiple like styles of prompts. We had like learned about POML, which has been like released by the Microsoft, a completely new like, way to structure and actually like, maintain your prompt templates. And then in the last 45 minutes, we had done a hands-on segment where I had shown how to get an like, API key and how to use the, I think the Gemini 2.5 we had used to get the outputs for basically a simple like question answering task from a like refined version of the squad like, like data set, right? So like this is what we had done on the like last day. So how many of you don't have the API keys? Can you just raise your hand? Okay. So you have to first go to the AI studio, right? And you have to use your personal account. Please note you can't use your student account because IITM does not allow this basically billing matters here. Now, just to like reassure you, you don't have to pay anything at all. It's a free API key that actually are going to like generate using your personal account. Okay. So go to this link. I'm pasting in the chat, and please use your personal account. Fine. I have pasted in the chat. Okay. Just go to the AI studio. If you're facing any doubts, just like let me know. Done? Great. So first you have to go to the AI like studio. Then like there's an option called Gate API key. First you have to create a project. Okay. You can give any like random name. Okay, for your project. So after creating the project, then you have to create the key, which has to be done like inside the project. Right? And just basically copy the API key. Okay, once you're done. Uh, So let me share my screen now. I hope it's getting shared, right? Or can you just basically put a like thumbs up or like something? I hope the screen is getting shared, right? Okay, fine. So you have to go to the Google AI Studio. You have to get like API key, okay? Then you basically like land up to this page slash like API keys. You go to create API key, right? And then you have to name your API key. First, you have to create a cloud project. So you go to create like project. You like name your project anything. Then you have to create the project. Since I already have the project called like Gemini created, then I choose this project and then I create a key. Okay, like free of cost. You can like name your API key, basically anything, and just create the API key. Okay, fine. Okay, and you have to do it from your personal account. Okay, so once you are done, I'll link of this is this. Okay, what I'll do is okay, like Rishabh, what is exactly your doubt? You put it in the chat, I'll answer. Okay, so go to this link, okay, and go to the starter notebook exactly that we had covered in the last day. Okay? So what we will do is, hold on a minute. Just go to this link, okay. Those who are actually done with the API key creation, can you just raise your hands? Okay, good enough. What is an API key? So API key is basically kind of a unique like identifier. Okay, it's basically the like short form for the application programming interface. So it acts like a password or some like token that actually allows your system to basically kind of access and to make the requests to some like specific like service, right? So here we are creating the API key. The API key like belongs to the Google, right? So we are trying to fetch basically Google's LLM, which is basically the like a Gemini 2.5. Okay. Yes, correct. It gets data. So here we are trying to access like one of the basically the large language models that has been created by Google DeepMind. Right. So it is provided to actually make sure that only the like authorized users or apps can actually like interact with services, right? So unless you provide the API key, you actually won't be able to train the model. Sorry, I mean basically use the model, right? Okay, Vinti, you can unmute yourself and ask. Aren't you able to unmute or what? Okay, so I have already provided a link to the website. So this is what we did the last day, okay? So please like copy the codes to your collab notebook. So you open a collab notebook, collab.research.google.com, okay? And you create a blank repository, okay? The sorry, Sanskar, I did not get it. Like the link for what? The screen is not visible. Is it visible now? I don't get what is like not visible. AI Studio. Okay. go to this, and then you have to click on create API key, use your personal account. Okay. Okay. Is the like screen not visible or what? Yes, it is like very much for the foundation students as well, because I'm trying to follow a completely like jargon free approach. I hope it's visible now, right? Okay, great, fine. Okay, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So you go to the starter notebook, right? And once you are done with the key like creation, you copy the codes to your like notebook, right? Quickly, I'll explain what we are like doing here. So we are trying to get actually outputs from the Google's like LLM. In this case, we are using the like Gemini model, and we are passing the input, which is a question and the context, and we are trying to get the answer, right, to that like particular question. So go to this link. I'm pasting it for the last time in chat. Ops team, please. Is the screen not visible again?
Only your photo we are seeing it.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's troublesome. Is it fine now? Quite troublesome.
Yes, now we are able to see.
Yeah, thank you. So please copy paste the codes to your collab notebook, right? So I'll quickly explain.
Now, where to copy it?
Here is an option to copy. Okay, just click on the copy and put it in a collab notebook, right? In the cell, right? You go to collab.research.google.com and you create a coding, right?
Um, your
Is
presentation
it
is
fine?
not visible.
Again,
It looked like a hang. It's everyone same or it's only me?
Black screen, sir, is visible black screen.
okay, hold on a
Only
minute.
blanks.
Okay, fine. Wait a minute.
Same, sir.
Okay, now is it visible? Okay, thank God. Fine. Uh, so quickly start like copying the codes as I explain. Okay. Think some of you had a bit of doubts, okay, the other day about the code. So can just anybody tell me that the collab like notebook where you're exactly working on? So like what?
On Python.
I want basically anybody to answer that what exactly is the difference between a collab notebook and what is the difference between the like Jupyter notebook? Can anyone please try? Okay, like whatever thoughts you have in your mind, just like give it a try.
Google Colab is for analysis, sir.
Google Colab is a place where you code, right? But I'm saying that what is basically the basic difference between the Colab and some Jupyter notebook, or say some like Python, some like interpreter on your like local machine? Yes, absolutely correct, Nikhil. So this is a cloud, right? Based. So the key difference. So I think that actually like many of you have done some of the other like coding, okay, on your like local machine, say I mean the VS Code, or using the basic, okay, the Python like interpreter and all these things, right? In your class 12 or something like that. Okay, those of you had your computer science, right? The CBS, you had the Python, right? Okay. So the key like difference between the Google Colab and basic like local Jupyter notebook is that you are actually operating, is their main basically their operating environment, right? So Colab is a cloud-based service, right? And here it basically like runs on the Google server, right? But on the other hand, the like the Jupyter notebook, it actually like runs on your computer's resources, right? And in the Colab, you have to do no basically setup, like zero setup, right? You just have one basic account in your Google and you can just basically use it. Okay, like whereas here in your like local machine, it actually like requires like local installation of actually everything, no? Like Python, like Jupyter, and its like dependencies, everything, right? And Colab actually provides you free access to various computing resources like basically GPUs and the TPUs, right? But in your like the basic like Jupyter notebook, it actually uses your local computers like CPU or the GPU, right? You have to access the like basically high-end hardware. It is completely like dependent on your like machine, right? That you use. Okay. So please copy the codes. So here what we are doing is we are doing some basic prompt engineering using the Google's LLM, okay, like Gemini, right? So we have like CSV. So if you go to the like session, okay, I'll see if I can annotate. Okay, fine. All the codes, right? All these codes, pip install, okay, these codes, please copy it to your Colab, right? If you go to the session, if you
Can
go
you
to
show
the
me that
session,
where to copy?
yes,
In
if
Colab,
you, yes, correct. If you go to the session, you will get a link to actually like download this CSV, right? You can
okay.
also use it from here, right? You will get it.
It is all the
Okay.
codes are there in the CSV file, right?
No, basically CSV can't have the codes, right?
Oh,
So it's the data, basically the data set that we are like working on, right? And the starter like notebook that consists of the codes, you can just copy the cells like one by one to your like Colab notebook. So I'll paste the link once again in chat for the Colab. It's collab.research.google.com. Okay. So please visit this. Okay. Once you go there, you have to create a new like notebook. Okay. Click on create a new notebook. Okay. So first we have to install the like libraries, right? So we install Google Generative AI library, we install the Roots Core library, and the others basically keep the all these libraries, the like TQDUM and it's like scikit-learn. This you don't have to install. Okay, it's like .env. This I did because I was like running it from the MK docs, so I had to do it on my like local machine. So I had to store my like and like fetch it from there. So these are the libraries you need to install on your Colab. Okay? Yes, you can see only just like one screen. That's fine. Okay, not an issue. I'll explain the code. Okay, I think like that is more important. Okay, even if you can't like follow along at the same pace, you can obviously okay basically copy it like later. But first you actually like need to understand the code, right? Okay. So let's start. So first you have to install the like libraries. So this Q is for the 𝐾𝐀, okay? So we use it for actually like suppressing the installation output, okay? Now this is the like library to actually interact with the Google's like models, okay? This is the basically the library for like calculating the evaluation matrix, okay? To see and to basically understand that how well our like model has performed in the task, right? TQDM is basically simply a like library to kind of basically like display smart like progress bars, okay, for the basically loops. And scikit-learn is a like machine learning library that we are using it for basically like splitting the data set here in this task, okay? So we import pandas. So pandas is a like very important, basically one like library in the data science with which we kind of like manage like data, okay, in Python. We basically analyze data, all this stuff. So first of all, what we are doing is we are fetching the data set, okay, from this link, right? So we basically do that, and this like df.head actually like shows you the first 5 the rows of that particular like data set, right? So we see that in this particular data set, so how you will basically copy your your data. I'll kind of maybe stop sharing and show you in another screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you just go to this cell, just click on the copy, right? And you paste it in this cell, and then you just like run it. Okay. I don't need this library for this. Okay. Stop it and run it. Okay. Once all my like libraries for this task are installed, we will fetch the data set. So you can copy it from this link. Okay. Paste it here. Okay, is it coming this way? Maybe we can control C and control. Yes. So I'll fetch my data set, right? And as you see, like what we have in the data set, we have 4 columns. We have a context, which is as simple as a paragraph or some like comprehension. We have a question, we have the question ID, and we have the answer in the like text column. Okay. So we are doing a question answering task, right? Say if I basically provide one like context and a question, so I want the text as the output from the particular model. I want basically the model to understand the question, to basically interpret correctly, and to give me the correct answer, right? So this is the task. Then what we are doing, we are basically like checking the shape of the data set. So doing basically like df.shape. Okay, like df actually is basically like nothing but our like data frame. Okay, this thing. So we see that we get 1000,4. So basically 1000 are the like number of rows, and 4 basically is the number of columns, right? So after that, we are trying to actually like split this data set. We are trying to break this like data set, this entire data, into 2 parts, right? Okay, like one is the train and the basically other is the validation. So those who were already like there in the last day, I had already explained that what exactly is the like train set, what exactly is the validation or some like development set, and what exactly is the like test set, right? So as of now, just note that we are basically like dividing the data, and for that we use this particular like code. Okay, we copy it. So initially, if you see that if you do df.shape, so this particular like data frame had like 1000 like rows, right? And then when we like split it, right? So how are we like splitting it? We are like splitting it into like 90 and 10%, right? So this is the percent. So we want to basically like split it in this like ratio. The test basically ratio is like 0.01. That is basically like 1%, right? So we are like splitting it into like 90% and 10% ratio. Okay. So once that is done, I'll like run the code. So we see that the like data set, we now have two parts. So it's basically like branching, right? We are kind of like splitting the main like data into two parts. One basically one like data frame that will now have like 990 rows, and another frame, okay, like that will have the like remaining 10 rows, right? So we will basically provide examples to the like model from this like training set, and we will check the output on this like validation set. Okay. So we are using the like Gemini 2.5 like flashlight, sorry, like model here. Now we import the libraries. Okay, so you guys had already created the API key, right? So after creating the API key, please go to your secrets section of the collab notebook and add your API keys here. Okay, click on add new secret, give it any name, and paste your API key from the AI Studio and give basically the notebook access. Okay, like this, right? Go to the secrets, copy and paste the key value, and give access to the like notebook to view your API key, right? Great. So copy this code once again. So this is done in order to hide your API key from the public, from basically like viewing it publicly, right? Because it is like something that you should take proper care of. Your API key should not get, kind of like exposed. So you're storing it like this. Okay. So once it's done, get this you omit. Okay, this is for our like local machine, so you don't have to do that, right? I hope you guys are able to follow. Okay, fine. So do this just 1 minute. Okay. So once you're done, just like run it. Okay. Run this code. The code will run. Yeah, see, it has run. It has run successfully. Then you can just like run this model to see if it has been configured like correctly or not. So you should see that your like generative AI model is this, okay, has been correctly configured. Okay.
See, this Panda input itself, for me, it is getting invalid syntax.
What?
The second line import, no, it is giving syntax error for me.
This one? This import?
Yeah, import pandas.
It's import like random. It's not import pandas. Check it correctly. And why will import pandas give you an error? It's already pre-installed. Pandas is always pre-installed. Okay. So import pandas. Okay.
Then why it is not all?
Okay. What are you getting? Like what error are you getting? Okay, what is the exact error? Like what is the exact error that you're getting there?
I'm putting in the chat.
Okay, paste it. Is the screen not visible again? You're getting an invalid syntax error where. Please ensure that your syntax is correct. Okay.
No, in this, I just copied it over there.
Where?
You shared the notebook, no? Start notebook.
Yes. Can you just basically share your screen? Can you share your screen, please?
Just where I am. Okay.
Quickly, please.
Copy by
Not
clicking,
close.
it will not show error.
Able to see. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, yes. Please go ahead.
Yes, this is a.
This is a. Hold on. What are you doing exactly?
The second syntax.
So this is not how you paste the codes. Okay, the codes. Okay, like need to have a proper syntax. No, you have to paste it in like line by line. The syntax is not correct. Okay. What do? You go to the like cell. Okay, like go to the like link of the page of that web page. Okay, you just no,
This
you just
one.
basically just basically like select the code. Yes, and just
Like this.
yes, like this.
Yes.
Yes, the control C, and then you go to the cell and just do like control V. Okay,
I can.
control V. Just create a new cell. Okay, you'll get the option to code. Yeah, paste it. Then you just like run it.
Okay.
Okay, okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fine. So here we are passing the instruction. Okay, fine. Instruction is this, right? So this is the instruction where we tell basically the LLM that you are a question answering model, and given a context and given a question, you have to produce a concise and accurate answer, right? So this is our like system prompt. And then we pass the examples that check. Here are some examples where there is a context, there is a question, and there is an answer, right? So check this basically is like complete like triplet. And now after actually like completely understanding the task, please check the context and question for the like test data and try to answer it basically like correctly. Okay. So basically once the like prediction is done, we put the predictions inside a list and we put the actual answers for them for those 10 test like samples inside another list called basically the references. Okay, got the issue. This is for your local thing. This code has to be changed. Hold on a minute. Sorry for the click oversight. Randomly copy pasted it. Yes. Do user data. That's why I was thinking what's wrong. For your collab, you need to change this code a bit. Okay. Yes, that's right. The API key was not getting fetched correctly. Okay. This is the correct code. Okay. For doing it on collab.
This APK is we have to use the same what we have created.
Yes, yes, yes. The thing is, it was not getting fetched because over there I was doing it on my like local machine, and here you are doing it on the cloud, right? On the collab. So I was using basically the OS, so it was not able to fetch it from that file, right? From that like .env file. So
Okay.
yes.
This key is whatever we generated, that same key,
Yes,
right?
yes, same, right. So now I'll fetch it. Okay. Just change this line of code. Okay, just change the os.get to basically the user data.get. Okay?
Which syntax?
Now
Which sequence?
this line, just this line. GenAI
What?
dot like configure API key. It will be user data.get, right?
Okay.
Because in
Okay.
collab you store it inside the user data, right? That is stored here, so it was not getting fetched.
Okay.
And now you like run the model. Now it will great. Yeah, so now you will see that it's basically like predicting for each of the 10 sentences, right? It's taking some time. So we had installed the basically the TQDM, right? So we use it for this, right? it helps us to basically like visualize that how much is basically the loop like running and all. So this gives us a good like display. So that's what we use it for. So 7 out of 10 are already like processed. Now 8. Now it's basically like predicting the answer for the 9th one. And finally the 10th one, it's done. Now we see the predictions from the model. I'll show you basically like what we had for the like test set. Test set is same as the like validation set here for this particular task. There were 10 basically rows at, oops, what was the name? Okay, valdf was the name. Okay. So these were the cases that basically the model had to predict the answers, right? So for this 10 cases, right? And these were the actual answers. So let's see that how much is basically the model able to predict like accurately. We see the actual answers and basically the references, right? So this is the correct answer, and this is what basically the model has like generated. Okay, the like machine generated output. So we see that it's quite accurate, as you can see, right? Quite accurate, except for the second one where it has actually like generated like something more other than the basically the concise answer, right? The answer like should have been a global basically this like, but then also it is like generated like some more few words, right? Basically like more or less it's able to like predict well, right? So we need to check the quality of the machine generated like output, right? And how do we do that? We use a simple basically one evaluation matrix. Over here we are using the like root score. Okay, we are using basically the root1, right? So it helps us to kind of understand the quality and also basically the similarity between the two things. That is basically the ground truth. That is what actually the output text like should have been, and what did our basically or like LLM generate, right? To understand the performance of the model, right? Because if only when you understand the performance of the model, you can go back and basically continue like refining your prompts to get a better like score, right? So copy the code for the evaluation matrix. So this is how basically the like matrix works, right? Copy the code, Control C, Control V, right? So this particular like root score is always between the range of like 0 and 1, right? So the more it is basically towards 1, so the more accurate your model is, right? The more close your model is. Got it?
So can you please check call messages?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
ये नहीं हो रहा.
This is not happening. Okay, I'll send once again. Hold on. So this is the correct line of code for the API key. Okay, like the configuration. Okay, just change it. If your basically your predictions are like coming as blank like strings, so it means that you are not basically something is wrong. So in basically our case, we saw that we were not passing the API key correctly, right? So once it is corrected, you will be able to connect to the model, and it will obviously like generate the outputs, right? Then you won't get those blank strings, right? Name error where? Can you just share your screen?
I'm also getting error.
Where are you exactly getting the error? If you don't tell me, then
Input OS 14, 15, 16.
So basically, can you just like share a screen, please? It should work. Okay, I'll give you from the import. So this is what you do. Yes, I've pasted. Can you check? Okay. There, you don't have to actually like load the like the local machine. Okay, you basically comment out those basically the code line. You just like delete those lines of code. Okay, got it?
Yes.
For local mission, we have to delete. Huh?
No, for basically collab you have to delete, right? So these were the codes when you do it on your like local machine, right? I'll show this part like once again so that you can follow. Okay, I'll just basically like scroll up to that cell. You can like stop your sharing. Scroll up to the cell. Still visible, right?
Yep.
Just like check my code. This is what should be there in this particular like import cell. Can you check it?
Model. Okay.
Got it? This is what like should be the code in that cell. For user data to be actually defined, you need to import the user data, right? So you have to add this line of code. Please check the code lines properly and please like follow along, right? Yes, it should work, Abhinav. Yes. Great. So this is the prompt of basically prompting and actually getting the outputs from the LLM by doing a prompt. We used basically one like few shot as well as basically the role based, okay, kind of like prompting style here, okay, for this particular task. And we see that we get a like decent basically score. Okay, now on the last day, I had actually showed it, I had showed in the meet how to improve the score. Okay, you can go back to my like recording and you can check that how I had like refined the prompt to get a better score, right? So you have to visit the like recording for that. We are like running short of time, so I'll go to the task announcement, right? Okay. Okay. So I'll quickly announce the task, right? Ops team, you can share the feedback form link. Okay. I'll quickly announce the task. Okay, in the VS Code, you have to use that like .env file. Okay. See, you can actually give the API key as a string as well, right? What I'm saying is, if you use it for your VS Code purpose, you can use it. But it's not safe to actually do it in that way because if you basically share your VS Code with basically someone, if you share your basically your like notebook with someone, then your API also actually pass the API key in the most like simple way as an input, right? I'll show, wait. But it's basically suggested to keep it in a like .env file if you are doing it on a local basically machine, right? So what you could have done is, yeah, see. So you could have passed the API key directly in one line of code like this. I'll paste in the chat. Okay. Like say like this. Okay, like whatever. Not user data, sorry. Just remove the user data. Okay. Paste the API key inside this. Okay, you can paste the API key, okay, like directly inside this as well. But if you do that, your API key gets exposed. So to prevent the exposure of your API key, to keep it safe, we always suggest that if you are using, and create one .env file, right, inside your like repo. Got it? Inside it, you store the API, right? And then you use that like .env code that is there in the basically the like, website. Okay. And if you are using Colab, you fetch it from the user data. You have to store it inside the like secrets. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now I will announce the most awaited task, right? So you can go to the hands-on section of this particular web page. Okay. Task, you need to show your prompting skill that has been already covered in the first session and also in this session, and you need a basic hands-on on like Gradio, right? Okay, that I will show it very quickly right now. So what you are going to do in this hands-on activity is we are going to use the prompt engineering on a basically one like real life problem statement, which is like nothing but auto like evaluation. Okay, so it's a basic computer vision task. So you basically already know that it's a quite like manual task, right? When teachers actually like grade your answer sheets, right? Say like this, we have one answer sheet. Okay, let's show you one example. So say this is one answer sheet, right? As you can see, I hope my screen. Okay. This is one answer script, and here is one basically one like serial number. There are some 10, I think, questions, and here are the answers which are actually like handwritten by the student. Now your task is to pass these to the basically LLM and to grade it automatically, right? Now, obviously, the complete accuracy of this will depend on how good your prompt is, right? And you're not supposed to use any OCR tools. You're not supposed to use any external optical like character recognition tools. That entire task should be done by the LLM purely using prompt engineering. So you should solve this problem using prompt only. Okay. Are there any doubts like related, okay, to this problem statement? You can actually unmute yourself and ask. Do you have any doubts? No doubts, right? For all? Are you able to comprehend? Are you able to understand the problem statement? The deadline for submission is 3rd of November, as you can see on the screen. It's everything is there. Okay. And this will count for the basically the appreciation like certificate. Okay. So I hope you understood the problem statement. It's actually simple, but it's interesting. And why is it like challenging is, see, the basically for the sample image, you can, basically more or less understand that what answers have been, handwritten by the student. But say like, what if the handwritten answers are a bit non-understandable? Like there can be differences in handwriting styles, right? Like someone can just basically write a T, okay, which the LLM has to understand, okay, so it is true and award the mark, okay, accordingly. It should not treat it as like incorrect. Got it? Like someone's handwriting can be as equivalent as a like scribble, right? So these things also the LLM has to interpret correctly. Okay. So I have added one like sequence diagram for you to basically understand the flow. So what is happening here is the user is actually submitting the answer sheet. and the prompt to the AI system. It is basically sending the image and the prompt to our basically our LLM. The LLM then basically like returns the extracted answers. Then you write a extracted answer is equal to this answer, then it's correct. Then you basically increment your score. If it's wrong, you keep it unchanged, and then you basically they return the final score to the AI system, and that gives your total score to the user for viewing. Right? Here are some instructions. You have to check the instructions that what exactly you have to do. Right? Here is one example like screenshots how your interface should look. Right? You can take help of AI in this task, say like Perplexity or like ChatGPT or basically whatever. But if you take help of AI tools, if you take AI basically assistance, you have to completely like declare it. You have to mandatorily like declare it that what exactly you had used, how you got help from that AI tool in a simple file. It can be a text file, it can be a like basically one like markdown, like readme file, whatever. But you have to submit it along with the submission. Fine, along with the submission file. This is what you should submit: your collab notebook with all the basic output visible, and your Gradio app like screenshot, and you submit it. Right? Now I will show you an example on how to use the Gradio. Okay, very quickly. I'll upload the Gradio code as well. Okay, like don't worry. After today's session, I'll upload it. So, does anybody have an idea what exactly is like Gradio? Any ideas? What exactly is a Gradio app? You can try, you can search. Yes, it is an interface of, no, it is not an interface of basically the deployed LLM model. Not always. It is an interface. Okay, got it? So, what exactly is a like Gradio? And basically, like what do we use it for, right? So basically, like Gradio is a completely open source Python library that actually allows you to quickly share a web-like interface for any, say, basically some like function or API or some basically some model or like whatever, right? So you can easily turn your Python code into a user-friendly, decent, and one interactive demo, right? That anybody can use it in the live lake server, okay, in the web basically browser. And for this, you don't even need to write any HTML or CSS or JS, right? You don't need to add codes for the front end. It creates a very simple user interface from your Python code, okay? And it is very well known, basically for its like speed and also basically the simplicity, right? So I'll show you an example on how to run this like Gradio app. Okay, see my screen. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating a game. Okay, like what game I'm like doing? This is a simple game of the where the code is like generating, but the code is giving some like random words that has been already created, and as basically a palindrome or a palindromic word. Any ideas? Again, the screen is not visible. Can anybody confirm? It is like visible or not visible? Either give a thumbs up or you either, okay, fine, it's fine. Great. Yes, Abhay. Go ahead if you have a question. That's fine. Okay. Uh, so what exactly is a palindrome? Okay, the Gradio interface basically will not be visible until I like run the app. Okay, until I like run the code. What exactly is a palindromic word? Okay, like nobody knows about palindromes here. That's quite surprising. What exactly is a palindrome? A word, a phrase. Yes, yes. Yes, like go ahead.
Sir, words which are same from front and back, when reversed, they are the same words.
Yes, correct. Now, say here, I have basically defined a like word list. So here, which of the words are like palindromes? A level, right? Because if you read it from the front, it's L-E-V-E-L. If you read it from the back, it's also the same, L-E-V-E-L, right? Same as basically the rotor, like madam, right? And also this like refer, okay? So here we are coding a simple game where to the user, the code will give certain words and the user has to mark it as a palindrome or a non-basically palindrome, right? So using this basically Gradio, we are actually converting this code to a simple web interface, right? So what we will do, I'll also share the code. So you just see the basically the like notebook right now. Okay, I'll basically share the codes later. Okay. So what is happening here? Hold on a second. Yes. So what is happening here is we are doing a function over here. Where is the okay? So here is a function to check for the palindrome, right? So it's checking basically backwards as well. So, excuse me. And from here, we start the app functions, right? Like here is a start quiz. Then we have another function called answer question. Then we have another function called save like results. Okay. And these are all basically the Gradio configurations. So you can check the basically Gradio like documentation that is already available on net. You can search for the Gradio documentation, gr.blocks. So this will create a block in the web like interface that will consist of the title like this and this thing. Okay. Question like display. Click the start quiz to begin, right? And here are those two basically the buttons. Okay, if it's a palindrome or a non-palindrome. And here is the save results button. On click, it will save the results to your collab repository. Sorry, your basically collab notebook, right? So basically, once you're done with the configuration of the Gradio code, you have to do basically the demo.launch. I'll just remove the share false so that you can get the basically the shareable link. Okay. So once you run this, okay, see, okay. So once you basically run this, you will get a link of the Gradio, right? So I'll paste it. Okay. I'll paste it. That you guys can go to this link, right? I'll share the Gradio interface as well. So see that how using some simple lines of Python code you can like generate a good like web, quite a like interactive interface. Okay, without the need for coding in HTML, CSS or like whatever. Okay, I hope the interface is like visible right now, right? So first you have to click on start quiz. Okay, like you guys can also try. So one, basically the Gradio link is actually active for a week. Okay, after which it expires for the free plans. Okay. So I'm clicking on the start quiz. I hope the screen is visible, right? Yes. So once I click on the start quiz, you see that the first question appears is Python and Python a palindrome. Okay. So I click on this button. No, it's like not a palindrome. Then I get a second question. Is like rotor a palindrome? I select yes palindrome. So it's like a game, right? So as you basically keep on like selecting, as you basically keep on answering, it gives you the next question. Is Python a palindrome? No. Is world a palindrome? No. Is rotor a palindrome? Yes. So once I answer all 5 questions, it will show the score, right? 5 out of 5. And it will give you an option to save your results to the CSV, right? So once I click on save results to CSV, it gets saved in my collab environment. So like, let me come back to my collab. Okay. I'm back to my collab screen. So if you go to the files, you will see that this file has been there. You have the results, right? You have the results here. Yes, right? Right? So this is how you create a simple Gradio app. So creation of the Gradio app actually like will be very simple. I actually want you to create the Gradio app and to actually like integrate it, with your prompt engineering code so that you have a basic like web interface that it's easier to understand, right? Like if you have a upload button for your input image, it looks great, for a simple project, right? But the main challenge of the hands-on activity is the prompt. Is the prompt engineering, how you keep on like refining the prompts. Okay. Now I'm open to questions. I'll end this by 10. Yeah, I'm open to all basic sorts of questions you have. And if you have not submitted the feedback form, you can submit it. And again, one like info. So basically, before starting the hands-on activity, please watch the day 1 video recording. Okay, full. Only then you will be able to understand and go ahead with your, basically your solution.